Good morning, everybody, and welcome. It's opening day at Del Mar. So an exciting day here in California, and you see him at the bottom of our screen. Salute.
Hut and a good Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Big day today. Bigger than yesterday, I promise you.
Yes, we do got a big day today here, and we're here. We got the beautiful G. Randall Johnson and the beautiful Truck Stop Burrito, and of course the absolutely drop dead gorgeous girl,
Nick Hines.
Except I'm not going to call Nick. I'm not going to call Sarge a girl. But Sarah Marie is here. We're here to give you talk to the late pick 4 for tomorrow's card at Del Mar.
Hold on. Sarah just talked about herself in the third person. Can we address that before we?
Yeah, she's the new Ricky Henderson of our show.
All right, that's okay.
That's what I do.
Hey, that's what Sarah's like. That's what Sarah does.
That's what Sarah does. Obviously. No, but we have a good show. We got Sarge on, who is maybe one of the best people we could have on to talk California horse racing. We're going to bring you the late pick 4 for Saturday's card of Del Mar. Del Mar is open today. Happy opening weekend. So we are excited. Randy and I will be there tomorrow. So if you guys see us at the track, make sure you stop by and say hi. Mm-hmm. Sarge, what's your plans this weekend? Are you headed to Del Mar?
Oh, yes. It's a fun-filled weekend. But actually tonight I'll be in TVG studio working with Rich Perloff. Plenty of racing, believe it or not, on that Friday. And then, of course, tomorrow, Saturday, I'll be at Del Mar. I'll be hanging out with you all in the My Racehorse Lounge up there. And I look forward to a great weekend.
Yeah. No, it's a big weekend for everything. We're doing a lot of stuff all around the country right now. Everything's opening up.
Yeah, Saratoga just opened up yesterday with fans.
I was wondering if Sarge, you were going to be in New York. I didn't know if they were going to send you to New York. No. Are you disappointed?
No, I'm not disappointed because the fact that we're back with the fans here in Southern California. We have been since probably about the midway point at Santa Anita. And it's a wonderful thing to see a lot of familiar faces that I know very well. And granted, being on social media, you get to know people as you will. And it's always nice to put the face with the names. I've been to Saratoga multiple times. I absolutely love Saratoga. In fact, it's my wife's favorite racetrack, which is awesome because if my wife can have a favorite racetrack, so can I. So, I'm a Del Mar guy when it comes to just the aesthetics of it all, but nostalgia, when it comes to history, Saratoga is very difficult to top. It may be the best in the country as far as that's concerned. I mean, as far as the racing is concerned, from a handicapping perspective, the cars that we're seeing, this week in Del Mar, not surprising, but I think they're fantastic. They're competitive, and I think there's plenty of money to be made. I mean, my only knock on the whole Del Mar swing is the fact that they've gone to the 20-cent pick 6, which I think if you were to take a vote, I would almost assure you that the majority would vote in favor of the $2 traditional. But that's my only knock on Del Mar, the only knock.
Do they don't have that, Sarge, you would know this. They don't have that. And I remember I was at least at Hollywood, that win place bet for all the whole card. Do you remember that? It was a $1 base. Do they still do that?
They're doing the win place show parlay.
Yeah. Sorry. Are you thinking like place pick all? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Right. Well, again, I remember when it did start at Hollywood Park, but when you look at the wagering menu, I'm not seeing that. Now, again, this is via DRF Formulator. And, again, I'm going to try to scroll over to the program. They do have it at Los Alamitos at night. They have the $1 place pick all, which, Los Alamitos is interesting. Now, granted, reminder that they are doing away for now with their Friday night cards due to lack of inventory. And Doc Allred had essentially said, hey, look, bottom line, I'm going to concentrate on my weekends. The Sundays, believe it or not, have been quite lucrative, but they're all traditional there, right, at Los Al. And I know some people are probably scoffing, saying, well, what's Los Alamitos? Trust me, if you've seen the handle and the money that they put out there and what the payouts have been, they've been nothing short of a sensational. So I'm actually looking at the program for Del Mar. I'm not seeing a place pick all option, but I'm seeing a $2 win place show parlay. So kind of curious to see what that bet consists of. AJ, would you happen to know?
No, as we were capping these races, I noticed that they were doing that bet, and so I got a little excited because I don't know what it is, and I like new ones.
And Guillermo, to answer your question, Guillermo, yes, he pay attention, Guillermo. He answered that. Losal does do that, so stay on your toes, Guillermo. Sarge just said that, but no, Losal, we love Guillermo. And what's up? First race is a bomb. Okay, we're not going to go over the first race, but we can talk about that if you want, which will be awesome. We're going to do the late pick 4. But that's Los Al is where you go to lose your money you won at Santa Anita, correct? Like that day. I mean,
well, no, it's where you go to make up for the money you lost at Santa Anita. But
vice versa. Okay.
All right, truth be told, this is all about Del Mar. Del Mar opening weekend, of course, Saratoga, huge yesterday. I mean, you look at the handle. I guess there were 25,000 people on hand. It's going to be madness opening day Del Mar, which is to be expected. But I think it's going to be a fantastic weekend. And, I want to wish my racehorse best of luck with going to Vegas today. She looks like she's in a great spot. And, of course, Tiz Magician. It's likely both horses are going to go off in a very short number. And, I would expect nothing less than winning. Let's put it that way.
Looking forward to the rematch of Cupid's Claw and Tiz Magician, because last year, Cupid's Claw looked like a world beater, but Tiz has come around a little bit better, and Cupid's Claw is taking a little time off. That'll be a good one.
Well, I think the key to that, and we're talking about the Cougar II, named after one of my favorite horses of all time, Charlie Whittingham trained Mary Bradley Jones, owning that one. Race 10 on Sunday's card. It's grade 3. Morning line odds aren't out yet, but you bring up the valid point. But Cupid's Claws, he was given time for knee surgery. Came back, put in a pretty nice effort, and then Craig Delassie shipped him up north, and he ran terrible. So the question is, which one do you get? Added the fact that Flavian Pratt opted off of Cupid's Claws, having the opportunity and staying with Tiz Magician. So I really think Tiz Magician is going to fire a huge shot, and he should be in a neighborhood of 7-5. Contagion is the new shooter in town for that Sunday 10th. The grade 3 Cougar II Stakes. So again, hoping going to Vegas can set the stage for my racehorse and their shareholders. She'll probably be even money or less than, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, she should win that race today.
Yeah, no, that's good, and good to see her back. She's a tough horse. And it looked like last time that was just a weird trip and maybe too long last time. She's going shorter this time, right? Going to Vegas, going shorter.
Mile and eight. Yeah, it's the right spot, but it's the condition, right? It's kind of like press the reset button, and hopefully this will get her back on a winning track and then go back into the graded stakes level. So
absolutely. All right, so let's get into it. We're doing a late pick 4 with Sarge. So that's a bonus for everybody, because I don't think he's going to be out there giving his. So you go on TVG, you're going to have to listen to those other guys, and you're not going to have Sarge pick up there. So shame on you. So you better be listening.
Well, they say me for the special times, right? I mean, when you think you have no hope, you turn the TVG on, and there's a Sarge to bring you out.
There you go.
Yes,
there you go. Sarge is the guy who makes you the money back after you lose, listening to everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's actually the Los Alamitos. But all right, so let's go into it. Sarah, what are we doing first? What's our first race?
Yes, we're starting with race 8. This is for Saturday's card. The late pick 4 starts with race 8, which is an allowance optional claimer, $72,000, a mile on the dirt. This is for 3-year-olds and up. So we'll start off with AJ.
What's going on, man?
I know.
I was reading about the win, play, show parlay.
Well, welcome back.
You said ADD hyper focus on one thing, and that's it.
Yeah, I was reading about it, like, oh, this is kind of cool. All right, what are we doing?
Do you want me to do it? Because mine's really easy. I want to play all. Actually, I'm going to throw out 2 horses. But.
Of course, all Randall Johnson's playing.
There we go. I know.
We know that. That's not a big thing.
Keep his namesake.
No, yeah, race 8. What are we doing? Mile allowance. All right, cool. No. This is kind of weird for me because time form right now still doesn't even have like the actual numbers of each horse, so I don't even know what the numbers are.
The numbers are. Everything's the same. They just don't have the numbers.
Well, but I can't see it, and I don't know how to count, and it's all weird. No, I went with established first and foremost in this one. It does seem like this year, every time it's ran, keeps improving. Broke its maiden, ran a hell of a race to Howbeit in an allowance at 6.5. I like this horse a little bit longer. I think it could go a little bit longer. Obviously, it broke its maiden, even though it was Indiana Grand. Going a little bit longer here. I like this horse. I know it's 7-2, which isn't great, but I going to include that horse here. I'm going to go 3 deep in this first race. The other one is Divine Armor. I don't know why I like this horse. Broke its maiden here at Del Mar, now comes back after almost what has been a year since it's ran. And I think Sadler's going to have this horse ready to go, and I think it's poised to run a massive number. 6-1, I will take that all day because I do think this horse is about to show something huge here. So I like Divine Armor a lot. And the other one is Palace Coup, who's been in these races before. But, I mean, if I throw out that last race, I mean, this horse, if you look at just – the last 3 races that's ran between Santa Anita and Gulfstream, outside of Tiz Hot and Dusty, who I don't know, maybe it's the Tiz part I don't like. Like, I mean, maybe that just throws me off. Maybe obviously I'm biased. If I throw that out and just look at the 3 races that's ran before that, the 2 at Santa Anita, this horse looks very good. And you're talking about a 4-year-old who can only get better. I mean, so, when I look at those numbers, I take out the last race. This horse could easily win this one and run a huge number, especially I'm comfortable with this horse at a mile, especially at 12-1. So I will go, I don't know the numbers again. So I'm going to establish Divine Armor and Palace Coup.
That's good. And I like the fact that you added an angle of you actually said, well, I'll throw that out, his name. By the way, so anybody listening, please stay tuned and keep listening because hopefully we sound a little smarter after this.
You're setting the bar high for us now.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do.
When we just talked well about Tiz a Magician, and you didn't say anything.
Oh,
that's a Tiz.
Well, I mean, look, I've got Sarge here. I've got you here.
Hold on.
I talk bad about my racehorse horse. Like I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to make.
All right, let's go on.
Let's go on to you.
We want to go to me. I wasn't being far off. And I was going to wait for everybody to talk about their horses because I'm sure we're going to have all of theirs. The only 2 horses I really don't like are the bookend horses. And that's the one, and Ginobili and Royal Insider. Everybody else, I can make a case for here. And this is, and when I say I'm going to play that deep, I have 2 singles, so it's not going to be that expensive. This ticket. So I like what you said about Divine Armor. I even like Palace Coup. I think Palace Coup has a better chance of going to the front here, and I don't think this horse is that bad at that distance. Who knows? I think it's all the crapshoot. That's where I'm going to try to make my price. And that's it. I'm just throwing out the bookends. I don't like Ginobili. I think this is a stretch out move. I'd like to hear what Sarge has to say about that if he looked at this horse, because this horse has done this stretch move before. I know those are his guys over there too, I think, right? Slam Dunk. That's a Ginobili guy, right?
Right. Yep.
But I don't like him at this distance, and I don't like Royal Insider in this race. So the rest of the field, I don't want to be that guy, but give me a price here somewhere there. So bet Ginobili. No, so I'm going to play everything but the 1 and the 10.
All right.
So 8 deep for me.
Wow, you went deep. All right. I like Silver Moon Road here. I think the slightly raced 3-year-old, he performed extremely well the last time out at Santa Anita on the dirt at 7 furlongs, dominating the field by 12 length victory. I think he has a shot here, just stretching him out a little bit. He's performed well in this type of class. I think this horse at 8-1 is a good price to play here on your ticket. I also like Beyond Brilliant at 6-1. He's coming back off of a strong win at Santa Anita back in June. I just think I really see these 2 horses battling the lead around the turn. I think it's really just going to be up to these 2 to really set the pace here. So I only went 2 deep. I did the 3-4.
All right, 3-4 for Sarah. Sarge.
Yeah, I think, again, this is this pick 4. When you suggested that we wanted to go through a pick 4, it's like, are you sure you don't want to do a pick 5? But I'm glad you didn't ask for the pick 5 because I honestly think that this pick 4 is going to pay very well. It's going to get us to the point where we feel good about the pick 4s again, because pick 5s have kind of taken over the room. And now with the pick 6 dilemma with the 20-cent increment, the one thing that I will tell you that I often look for, and I'm sure many of you do out there, are horses over a new racetrack that are coming off of poor races at a previous racetrack, but are back to a track that they've won on. So that being said, you essentially have 3 horses in this race who have won at Del Mar, Ginobili being one of which, who I think could be very live, Divine Armor the other, and Royal Insider the third of the 3. So in my opinion, I actually want to use those 3 horses, and Royal Insider is a huge price at 20-1. The one reason I think this horse is usable and playable is for the sake of the pace scenario. I think that you're going to get a fair amount of speed here. Bruto was incidentally cross-entered into the Oceanside, goes here, which I think that horse is going to be very forwardly placed, as with the 4 Beyond Brilliant. And I think Silver Moon Road off of that win last out is also going to show pace under Tyler Bays, and I think he's going to shove. I'm with Sarah on Silver Moon Road. The horse is definitely an X factor. The question is, does this horse get to 2 turns? Being by Secret Circle, looking at Lucky, that's an all Baffert type pedigree, Mike Pigram owner breeder. For me, I think the 5 is definitely the horse to beat. Is he the horse to bet? Can you single him? Probably not. Is there a single in this pick 4? Probably not. So that being said, I'm going to use 5 horses in this spot. I'm going to use the 3 who have won over the track. I'm going to use the 1, 7, 10, and I'm also going to use the 5 and the 4. So the 1, 4, 5, 7, 10 to begin the pick 4 sequence, race 8 at Del Mar. I think as far as value is concerned, if Ginobili gets off at, say, 12-1, 15-1, like his morning line with the blinkers on, Jersey Joe, I hate the post, but he's a horse I could see a major move up here when you look at his most recent race where he was well beaten, 10 1/4. But keep in mind, his lone victory came at Del Mar, and arguably his second, third best race on form outside of the San Vicente at Santa Anita. He likes Del Mar. So I think Ginobili is kind of an interesting price horse.
All right.
Hold on, because I don't have the numbers. The 7 is Mr. Impossible, correct?
1, 4, 5, 7, 10. That's Divine Armor is the 7.
Armor.
Divine. Oh, then.
Yep.
You just have to count down, KJ. He really doesn't know.
1, 4, 5, 7, 10. Yeah, and I mean, Divine Armor. You brought up the point, AJ. The horse hadn't been seen since last fall at Del Mar. But, when you consider the fact that trainer John Sadler picked this spot for this horse on the return, and from a statistical standpoint, hey, 14% isn't terrible, but the workouts I think are very telling in the AM, and I like the fact they had this horse work a couple of times at Santa Anita, where he'd been at Los Alamitos previously. So I think Divine Armor can fire fresh. He's fired fresh in the past.
All right. Great. All right. So let's move on.
Yeah, let's go to race 9, which is the Oceanita Stakes, 1 mile on the turf, $80,000 for filly and mares, 3-year-old and up. AJ, who do you like here?
This is my single. I've got I guess it's going to be the 2. Right? Setamar? Setamar is the 2. I like the 2.
Hey, AJ, real quick, not to intervene.
Yeah.
But they have this thing called the internet. And if you go to EMPC.com, you can sell it.
No. I only use Timeform. Shout out, Craig Mikowski. No, the
program number.
My single. Anyway, yeah.
Apparently.
Shout out, Craig. Anyway, so no, I'm going with the 2. It's my single. I just like when I look back at this horse's best performance, the way it runs when it's at Del Mar. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the angle I'm going with here. This horse is 1 year before. This horse it ran really well here. I think it runs better here than it does Santa Anita. Obviously, numbers can tell a different bit story, but has won here at this distance, at all the distances. Runs really well. I think going back to Del Mar, 4-1 bit of maybe a stretch for a single, but I like this horse here at Del Mar, so I'm going to single this horse.
All right. Okay. So you're going to single here. See,
Single here.
Okay. All right. So I do have the 2 there, AJ, as well. I like what you said about, now hearing more about the record at Del Mar with the 2. And if a speed duel happens here, which I'll talk about in a second, you definitely could be somebody here with Sedamar. I like Nasty a lot. I like that second off the layoff. I mean, you're giving me my favorite things because I'm lazy, like second off the layoff, the flash and fade kind of thing, going back to the distance the horse wants. 5-1, I'll take it with Nasty there. And I'm also going to go with the 4. This could be a hot pace here. I think this 3 and 9 might battle for the lead. And it could get nasty. And that's why I'm not playing the 9, which I think will be the favorite because I don't know if the 9 can take the lead from out there. And I think the 9 might need the lead. I don't know. That's a weird horse to look at, Brooke, but I'm not going to play Brooke. But I think there might be a hot pace up front because of Brooke pushing that and trying to get out to a spot. So I'm going to go with the 4 there because if it chases hot, it's a bit better distance, I think, for the horse there with Tap Water. I think the 1.5 miles was too long last time. I mean, I think there's a big difference with a lot of horses. And I guess, I don't know, Sarge, I like the word stretch out. I mean, is that really a stretch out? You know what I mean? I mean, just seeing if the horse can run 1.5 miles, but definitely has the lungs to run the other one. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 4 on mine.
All right. Well, I agree with you here on the 4. I am definitely playing 4. I am super chalky here. I did 2-9. 4, I agree. I think this horse is dropping back in distance, which is only going to benefit Tapwater here. Mike Smith in the irons, I think it's a great play. Also, the 9, I feel like to me, it was hard for me not to play the 9. Yes, it's a heavy favorite. Umberto's in the iron, which we all know is a strong turf jockey. But I feel like if you're going to play one, you have to play the other here. I'm really interested to see how these 2 are going to race against each other. I think it's going to be a duel between these 2. So I know it's chalky, but I just did the 4-9.
Now I'm going to wait for Sarge to tell us who's actually going to go to the lead here.
Well, again, this is a really interesting race. The Osanitas, it's a flat mile on a turf. The turf rails are set at 0. From an experiential standpoint, having been through it, generally when those rails are dropped, it tends to play a bit more fairly because, when the rails are out, it tends to cater towards speed. But from a pace perspective, Dynasty of Her Own, stretching out for Jonathan Wong, she was nominated for the Daisy Cutter, I believe it's next weekend, sprinting 5/8 on the grass. But I asked Jonathan, I said, what was the mindset here? He goes, we may run her long. She's going to go to the lead. So with that being said, I think you've got Nasty, who also has speed and runs her best race forwardly placed. So Nasty is going to be pushed to get there. However, I think Dynasty of Her Own, unless they decide to scratch or do whatnot, she is going to keep her company. So that being said, Tapwater, who scales back today to her much preferred distance, she's also a winner over the turf course. And, I feel the same when it comes to main track Del Mar as I do turf. If they've had success in the past over this track and surface, then pay attention. And as much as I wanted to use Candura, I just despised her route turf race in October of 2018. But evidently something went wrong. So if you line that race out, she's unbeaten. She's another X factor. She's another horse that's likely to show speed. Trevor McCarthy aboard for John Satter. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the horse that I wanted to use, and I cannot because she's difficult to ride, is the 5 Ipodamia's Girl. My rider, Jose Valdivia Jr., was aboard her 2-back. She came off a career best Ragazin number in that victory in a race with Flavian Pratt 3 starts ago. She came back in 3 weeks. The day we rode her, I'm convinced she bounced. She also came back off Lasix. So her more recent race with Jersey Joe, he was having a difficult time handling her. So, unless the pace really materializes for her and she gets covered, maybe she'll run better because Jersey Joe is going to get a second swing at it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I was going to single Brooke to the outside for Michael Whitey McCarthy, who I think is going to have quite a solid meeting. But she comes in second off the layoff today. She's ideally drawn. Yeah, she hasn't raced here at Del Mar, but it's only her third race in the country. Keep in mind, she was out from January until June. Timing of that race, June 20th, is perfect. Third off the layoff, Umberto Rispoli. I think she's going to fall into a really good trip. Quality horse. When you look at the fact she's 2 for 5 at the distance, I do believe that Tapwater is the horse to beat. You look at her Del Mar efforts, they're solid, although her maiden win was, 3 years ago? Kind of spotty as far as her pattern's concerned. I really didn't want to use Tapwater at the end of the day, but I feel like I have to because of the scale back, and I think she'll relax much better. I personally don't think she has to be on the lead to win. So in this particular race, I shored the ticket up. I feel like at the end of the day, maybe we could add one, and that would be Setamar. But let's go 4-9, and I'll make the 9 my top choice here, and could have been a potential single, but I need to go too deep. 4-9 for me.
All right, let's move on. And then we know a pattern that every time I throw out a horse, Sarge singles it or uses
I know.
it.
Yes.
But he does.
That's his angle now. That's the new angle.
All right, let's move on to race 10, where we have the Grade 2 San Diego Handicap. Mile 16th on the dirt, $250,000 at stake here for 3-year-olds and up. AJ, who do you got here?
First and foremost, a Royal Ship I can't throw out. I'd like to throw out a favorite, but I can't. I looked at it a couple times. It just seems – I see a 130 up there and 129 to follow that up. No, I can't do that. So I'm going Royal Ship here. I have to put Express Train in there too. I've watched Express Train too many times to think that this horse is going to ever not be in a race. So I'm going to go Royal Ship, Express Train, and then I'm going to throw a bomb in here too because I did single in the last race. And that's going to be Hayward's Beach, 20-1. This horse seems to surprise me every once in a while when I think I don't need to have this horse in there. It's only been now running on the turf the last 3 times out. But
okay, hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
You'll have to not use Hayward's Beach because he was cross-entered in the Grade 3 Cougar on Sunday. So take him out.
He's going to run against.
Is he for sure going to go in that race?
Yes.
All right. Well, if Hayward's Beach is in this race, I'm taking Hayward's Beach.
He's
not. Well, you don't know for sure. You don't know for sure. Hasn't been scratched yet. We don't know.
It's the rule. That's all I'm trying to tell you, AJ. It's the rule. If you cross enter to a race that's on the day previous to the next day, you have to go with the latter of the two.
Is that really a rule? All right. Well, fuck it. Then I guess I'm going with just that. Well, because of that, then fuck it. I'll throw in the 2. Kiss Today Goodbye.
On the fly pick.
On the fly. Fuck it.
All right.
Any reasoning besides? Or
I'm sorry to disappoint you, AJ. Don't shoot the messenger, man.
Well, guess who I'm picking on Sunday?
Oh, man.
He was just giving us a preview of his Sunday pick, Sarge. You didn't understand. You didn't let him finish.
I'm single Hayward's Beach on Sunday. Then.
Getting his days mixed up here.
All right.
So you're doing 2, 4, 5. That is Kiss Today Goodbye, Royal Ship, and Express Train. I'm
going straight Royal Ship. I think since this horse has been gelded, I think we're looking at a horse who's staring in the eye that could be a horse of the year. I'm going to go on a limb and say that. I think his times, I just think this horse is just, I don't want to say getting better because how much better could you get? But Country Grammar and him, you got to look at them as the 2, best horses in the country right now. I mean, we saw what happened a couple weeks ago. I mean, who's better? So I have to go Royal Ship. I think this horse is the real deal. I know we all want to go on Express Train. I mean, how many times can we go at this distance? He looks like he wants this. It doesn't look like, I don't know. I just think this horse is that good. And Rushy, I don't think has this distance in him. And Hayward's Beach is not running. So
apparently,
I'm not taking him.
So I'm going Royal Sheep. I'm Ship. Royal Sheep.
So you're singling Royal
Ship.
All right.
So concentrating on saying ship, I have to say it.
A lot of new things happening here. AJ is learning to count. Randy's learning to speak. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, and I'm coming up with rules and regulations in racing. I mean,
well, we did try to get you as commish, so that's what you got to do if you're going to be in that position.
We did have that conversation, so we'll talk about that after.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sarah,
okay. Well, I went 3 deep here only because my sequence is not too crazy, but Royal Ship, definitely can't leave him off your card. And I went with a horse that Randy said to not include. That's Rushy. I did put Rushy on my card as well as Express Train, but really I think Royal Ship's an easy single here. I don't think this horse is going to have much hard time in this race. We did see his last race in the Santa Anita Gold Cup against Country Grammar, and that was an insane race to watch. Go back and rewatch that race. That was a tight battle that they had in the stretch there, but nothing exciting. I did Royal Ship, Express Train, Rushy. That's the 1-4-5.
All right, Sarge.
This is a race that essentially is your prep for the TVG Pacific Classic. And, when you look at the history of the San Diego Handicap, dating all the way back to 1937, horse by the name of Clean Out had won that particular race for trainer Bill Finnegan. For the winningest trainer of this particular race, there are 3 that are tied, and 2 of which that are still with there. 1 of which is still with us, in trainer John Sadler. He's won this race 5 times. And you go back to 2017 with Accelerate, Catalina Cruiser in back-to-back fashion. Charlie Whittingham, Bobby Frankel, John Sadler tied with those 2 legendary late Hall of Fame trainers. Native Dyer, the all-time winningest. So essentially, we don't have anybody trying to come back and defend their title. The one thing that I found really intriguing about this race is the pace dynamic, because when you look really closely, there's really not a speed, quote unquote, horse. So for me, I actually kind of like an X Factor as a horse that I'll be using and using in vertical plays from a Exactas, Trifectas, Superfectas is definitely going to be in my pick 4, and I'll toy with the pick 5 idea. It is the John Sadler trained 8, Tripoli. This is a 4-year-old son of Kitten's Joy. He's an upstart for Ronas Racing. And by the way, Ronas Racing, they too have had good success in this race, having won it 3 straight times between 2017 2019. But I think Tiago is going to be ultra aggressive on this horse to get to the lead, and he may not get the respect. I know you look at the form and you see the fact this horse tracked and closed, but truth be told, Mimosa has speed coming in from Mike Maker. Ramon may send. That horse was a winner at Fawner Park 2 back in their featured event, and then shipped over to win the Sexton Mile. It could be a blessing for Tripoli, but from a pace perspective, it looks like those 2 horses. So I totally like the Royal Ship on sheet numbers. He fits. He makes sense. He's a must-use. But so for me, I was kind of going between Mimosa and Tripoli. But I'll tell you why I didn't use Mimosa. While this horse has not had to take his track with him, because you look at his career, he has 4 wins. He's won at Ellis. He's won at Turf Way Park. He's won at Fawner. He's won at Lone Star. So you're thinking, well, why couldn't he win at Del Mar? I'll tell you why. No Lasix. Keep in mind, horses who have not raced on Lasix and have had the experience of having not raced on Lasix may have the advantage. And I'm kind of playing against that idea because Tripoli will be coming off Lasix and this being a great stake. So my fear was Mimosa, off Lasix, Mike Baker, not knowing Southern California, Tripoli, John Sadler, who's had great success in this race. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Express Train, definitely a must-use. He's had multiple wins over this racetrack. I like Royal Ship just for the sake of his consistency. And I think pound for pound, he may be the best horse in the race. But I also like Rushy. I'm with Sarah. This horse makes the 3rd start back off of a respite. You get Umberto Rispoli. I think it's go time, and his workouts have been exceptional. Hasn't raced at Del Mar, but he's a young, improving son of Liam's Map. He's a lightly raced 4-year-old. So for me, I go 1, 4, 5, 8. 1, 4, 5, 8 here in the grade 2 San Diego Handicap. And I think there's more value in this race than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Ship's going to take a lot of money. I mean, there's no doubt here.
I think he'll be. I'll make this prediction. He's not going to be more than 8-5, but he won't be less than 6-5.
Huh?
That's my prediction.
Who do you think takes that money that kind of gives it to him there? I mean, do you think it'll be one of the favorites, or do you think it'll be like a Tripoli dropping the 5?
I think Express Train, and I believe that Rushy is going to take some play there. I believe that. So I think Rushy, you won't. I don't believe you're going to get 5-1. I think he'll be closer to 7-2.
Rushy reminds me of who is it? Mischievous Alex, I think. Like, I love that horse at a mile, and for some reason that mile is.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But you got to remember, he's only had 10 starts, And, one thing about Rushy, he didn't want 1.25 miles, but he may just love the 1.16 mile configuration there. I mean, you look at his Oaklawn Park race prior to the Santa Anita Derby effort. It was solid. I mean, that was kind of like his bust out performance because he broke his maiden. Then he came back against Charlatan. And look, you can't knock him for getting beat 10+ lengths. But keep in mind that Rushy was only, 1.25 lengths behind our Kentucky Derby winner and Authentic. Pretty outstanding horse. So third off the layoff, that to me, if you play that on a daily basis with consistency, I can assure you that you're going to be making money at the end of the day. There's just something about it. As a former trainer, I can't begin to tell you why is that. Why does that happen? It just, in particular with route horses. With sprinters, I'm a second off the layoff. With routers, third off the layoff.
All right, interesting.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been laid off 3 times this year. I should be good.
Oh my God.
The question is, do you run fresh?
No, I can't do fractions. I can't run fractions.
He doesn't run at all.
Let's just be honest. He can't run.
Hoorah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the final race of the card. This is the race 11s with his allowance optional claimer, mile 16th on the turf, $72,000. This is for 3-year-olds, which have never won.
I've been waiting for a horse in this race, by the way. So I'm excited about singling a silly horse that I've been just oddly waiting for to run.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet it's the 2.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, because I love the 2. The big effort that it put up in that allowance after being gelded, I think this horse is about to just break out. This 3-year-old Wi-Fi running a massive number, coming off of, again, 2 second-place performances, one at the end of last year, and then coming into this year, again, after being gelded. First time back after a long layoff, puts up a huge number, now comes back to this race. I think this horse, I want to single this horse, but I already singled another horse. So I feel like I have a little bit of money to work with here. So I am going to include Mohawk King here as well, who is now 3rd after coming over from overseas, running 2 big second place performances. Coming back into this one now stretches out to 1.16 miles. I think this horse has got it in him, but we shall see. 7-2 seems a little low, but screw it. And the other one is going to be the 1 who was 3 out of 6 starts. Ran a big number at 1 1/8 miles, or a big effort at 1 1/8 miles last time out. Again, this horse I think it's got a lot more than meets the eye. In 12-1, I will take that all day in here. So I'm going 1-2, and then whatever Mohawk King is. I don't want to look and count it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you about the horse I love because I watched his last race and he just got jammed up the whole time. He did go off the favorite, and that's Lincoln Hawk. Lincoln Hawk out there. The what number is that now? 10. I got to add him up. The 10, Lincoln Hawk. Love him. I absolutely waited for this horse. He closed. I was like, this horse gets a little extra distance, and he got it. He's got the month off now. This is, and also, I went with the 3rd off a layoff from England on this one, obviously, because he actually has that one too. I just think this horse didn't jump up too much. I know it's going against winners now, but I just think this horse is here. He's for real. And the way he closed on Hollywood Hellraiser last race, I just think that this horse is much the best at 4-1. So I'm going to single him.
All right. Wow.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah.
And Sarge is going to tell you how wrong you are. So
he's going to tell me the horse is racing Sunday.
Yeah.
No, he's actually running Monday. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Monday.
He's actually at Fauner Park Monday. Nice job, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, all right. Well, you singled the 10 here. I went 3 deep. I am with AJ here on the 1, Jimmy Blue Jeans. This horse has really taken to the turf the last 2 times he's been running. One's at Golden Gate, one's at Santa Anita, and which pretty decent races there. This horse is coming back. They are putting him back on Lasix. I just think that's something to note. But I think at 12-1, like AJ said, this is a really great price horse to be playing here. I am also on the 5 here, Nerves of Steel. First time off a claim, this horse is stretching out. His front running style, I think, is great for this field and how he's going to run. I really see him kind of being first around the turn, but I'm with Randy here. I really didn't know if anyone was going to talk much about Lincoln Hawk, but I have him as well. He started off really strong here in the States at Santa Anita, getting a second at 6.5, coming to a mile, winning his last race at a mile. Now they're stretching him out to a mile 16th. I think this horse is just getting better and better and really taking to the tracks out here. So I could feel like I can't leave him off my ticket. So at 4-1, I think it's a pretty good price. So I went 1, 5, and 10.
All right. And I also want to note that Birdie told me that the 6 in Fuego Caliente will scratch out of this particular race, and that will allow the AE one-night standards to get in for trainer Mark Glatt. Trevor McCarthy has listed his first call aboard the Sadler 8, which I think is very live. But from what I understand, trainer Mark Glatt indicated that he had a call with Trevor. So it'll be interesting to see which rider ends up where. But I do think that Lincoln Hawk is. I'm with all of you in a sense that this horse is. You look at the trouble trip last out. Jose Valdivia Jr., my rider, was aboard Hollywood Hellraiser. That was a tough beat for us, considering we were 23-1. Liked our chances, but quite frankly, at the end of the day, still got paid handsomely. When you look at what the payouts were from an exacta standpoint, the exacta in that last race came back at $33.50. The trifecta, north of $154 for $1. So I think Lincoln Hawk has potential to be the best horse in this race, and I think Richard Baltus is loaded for bear. I don't like the fact that we don't have Juan Hernandez, though. That bothers me. Why isn't he back? You got Jersey Joe, who climbs up, and he's more than capable. But it brings me back to Mohawk King. This horse is never routed. Sayuni, his percentages here stateside are better with route turf types versus sprinters. In fact, you go from 5% turf sprinters, 10% turf routes. Third start off the layoff, you keep Juan Hernandez, you're likely going to be at least 7-2. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm definitely using that horse. But to AJ's point on Whitefire, this horse is the absolute, you use him or you lose him at your own peril. He has to be used at 8-1. It's a second start back, second time gelding, coming out of the race in which we saw Harbor Memories, who's in the Oceanside today, training very well. We talked about Harbor Memories because Harbor Memories beat Lincoln Hawk. So all of a sudden, you put the pieces of the puzzle together, and Whitefire is 8-1. So for me, I'm going to go 2, 7, 10. I'm going to keep it simple here, 2, 7, 10. But I do believe that Whitefire has plenty of bang for your buck. If I were to include a horse, it would be the 8 Spirit Maker, but he's been out since November of last year, and I don't want to saturate any value that I have on my ticket because ultimately at the end of the day, my 50-cent pick 4 ticket comes out to $60. So 2, 7, 10 is how I close out. I will make my top choice, Mohawk King, Simon Callahan, Juan Hernandez staying put.
All right, you got it. And when Sarge said second time gelding, you can't be gelded twice. He means a second race after gelded.
Well, what if you
can only be gelded twice?
You just cut off one ball?
Oh, God.
If you just cut off one of the balls, and then the second time you cut off the other.
I have a trivia question for you, though, AJ. Okay, now that you've, I guess this is kind of a no holds barred show because the expletives that you've thrown out there. My mother's probably rolling over in a grave somewhere, but no.
Might be, yeah.
We're all human, right?
Okay.
All right, so let me ask you this question, AJ.
Okay.
A horse that has one undescended testicle, what do you call it?
Ridgeline.
He knows that one. You taught him that.
Okay. Okay. If you have a horse that has one testicle, what do you call it?
Ridgeline.
No, you do not. You call it a hemi-castrate. A hemi.
One's not descended and one's just not there.
If you have a horse that only has one testicle, now they won't list it as a hemi-castrate in a racing form. But in case you want to have a conversation, maybe you're at a bar sometime, you're trying to win a bet, you ask ask a horseman this, say, hey, if my horse has one testicle, what is he? And if they say Ridgeline, you tell them they're wrong. Because if they only have one testicle, they're a hemi-castrate. If they have one undescended testicle, they're a Ridgeline. If they can declare that they can only find one testicle and they haven't gone further investigation, it's a ridgeling. If he's 5-year-old or older, he's listed as a horse. If he's 4-year-old or less, he's a colt. If not, he has no testicles, he's a gelding.
I know where my testicles are in Sarah's purse.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Oh,
Wow.
That's interesting, though. And to the comment there that you only bet ridgelings, are you starting to save money? There's not many ridgelings that run, is there?
No. I said if you were to make a bet with somebody at a bar.
No,
In fact,
somebody said
it's one of our commenters.
I only bet ridgelings.
If you only bet ridgelings, you're in trouble. I mean, unless you're betting on APND. See, he was in a situation where he was declared being a heavy castrate because he had one testicle, but he was viable as a stallion. And it's interesting. There's a common trait among that whole line: pulpit, APND. Congrats. It's pretty wild, but that's for another show, another time. But we talk about geldings. We're talking about Wi-Fire. He's a second-time gelding. I absolutely love the second-time gelding angle. It's another magical. I think Wi-Fi at 8-1 is crazy value.
Really? All right. There you go. 8-1.
Something to think about. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's our pick fours. What are they? Let's give them.
That is our late pick four. This is for Saturday's card, mind you. So Sarge, we have his late pick 4 is the 1, 4, 5, 7, 10 with the 4, 9 with the 1, 4, 5, 8 with the 2, 7, 10. What's so funny, Chuckle?
Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready, AJ? I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, AJ.
Well, after you broke my heart with Hayward's Beach, I love that you came to my defense on Wi-Fi.
AJ's just not going to bet tomorrow at all anymore. But no, AJ's late pick 4 is the 5, 6, 7 with the 2, with the 2, 4, 5 with the 1, 2, 7. Randy's late pick 4 is he's playing 2 through 9 in the first leg with the 2, 3, 4 with the 4 with the 10. My late pick 4 was the 3, 4 with the 4, 9 with the 1, 4, 5 with the 1, 5, 10.
All right.
So we will be putting out a graphic on our Twitter, so make sure you follow that. Let us know what you're playing today or tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure if you combined all our picks, it'd be all.
Yeah.
I think we're all over. So somebody's going to hit something here on this show. All right. Well, you want predictions? Top
traders and jocks for the meet.
That'll be for you.
Who's going to be
that first real quick?
All right. Who's predicting this?
You.
I am.
Randy's putting all the pressure on you.
I'm putting it all on you. I can't do this. I could try, but go ahead. You know more than me.
Well, again, for top jock, for me, it's got to be Jose Valdivia Jr. because I represent him. But in my eyes, he's the top jock. Okay, but I will say this: I think Flavian Pratt once again is going to have a major stronghold. Now, the different scenario this year, of course, he has a new agent, Brad Pegram, who I think, he's just essentially going to have the pick of the litter. So if Flavian Pratt doesn't win the title at Del Mar, then it's on his agent, bottom line. So I predict Flavian Pratt. From a training perspective, I think Peter Miller, I think he's loading up to have another big meeting. The one right there is Richard Baltus. I'm not sure if Bob Baffert has numbers, but Bob Baffert's probably going to have a big opening day and likely a solid weekend. So let me go ahead and predict I'm going to predict Richard Baltus and Flavian Pratt. That's a top trainer, top rider.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that was a little wink to Flavian Pratt that if you don't get it, wink, wink, call a different agent.
Yeah. We know a good one.
I mean, he's right there. Chi-town.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know he's a big listener of the show.
Oh, hugely. Yeah. Flavian's a huge fan of ours. Obviously.
Yeah. No. If there's no other questions out there, real quick, do you think D'Amato will take it?
D'Amato, not a bad option.
I think Phil. The one thing about Phil is that obviously he's coming off a title at Santa Anita and too deep in LA. Let's hope you're not too deep. Hopefully you're rich by the end of the day. I would say that Phil, for him to come back and win the title at Del Mar, would certainly be quite the accolade, because to win back-to-back titles anymore in Southern California as a trainer, it's so hard because, as a guy that between two trainers that I worked with, I worked with Bob Hess Jr. back in the early 90s. I worked with Craig in the late 90s, Craig DeLasse. We won 5 training titles together. 5. We won 2 Del Mar titles with Bob, Hollywood Park summer titles. And, but winning them back-to-back in the same year, because it's the ebbs and flows. So, I think Phil will have another good meet, but I think Baltus is sitting on go. I went by his barn yesterday, and he's obviously stepping with confidence. And I'm hoping that, we'll get some opportunities there with Jose Valdivia. I hope so.
Yeah, no doubt. It's interesting you said that, because we know AJ is voting for his best friend is actually going to go for trainer of the year.
Yep.
AJ, correct?
Let's hope so.
Dan Blackard.
Dan Blackard is AJ's best friend. I don't know if you knew that or not. So
We're best friends.
Dan doesn't know it either, by the
Well,
way.
he's my best friend. I don't know if he's.
Let me tell you about my best friend. Well, you should go out there and walk a few horses, man.
They already.
I feel like I'd be pretty good at it.
Yeah, you would. You know what?
Become two
I'll tell you
pounds.
this. If I were training horses, let's put it this way. I would hire AJ as my hot walker.
Yes.
I would hire Sarah as my personal assistant, and then Randy would be the voice of reason.
Wow. I don't know about the last part.
No, I
Sorry.
think that's perfect. I think that's great.
I know.
I think that's a
You're
fantastic
getting-
idea.
You're playing with fire at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, no, that'd be a good time. That's for sure.
What a team. What a
We
team.
would have a great team.
Can't lose. We can't lose.
Right?
Winning every day with the clowns.
Right. At the end of the day, we'd be entertaining. You know what?
Yeah. At least you'd be laughing. I don't know.
Winter Circle would be fun.
Yeah.
There are no voices of reason in horse training. Yeah, you're horse racing. You're absolutely right.
No,
That's a great statement.
He's every man for himself. They just say what they got to say.
So we did, before we go, Sarge, I did want to talk to you because we did talk about, for everybody out there, any questions, let us know. But we did talk about the commissioner. We did go into this, and we asked people, I don't think Sarah's the list right now, but we had some really good names, and we were upset that your name wasn't on there and Vic's wasn't on there, which I thought you two would be like the go-to for people. And this is because Vic was a steward before. You know, you're you.
Okay.
I thought it'd be good. We got Donald Trump Jr.
What were some of the names that were on the list?
Oh,
Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, Donald Trump Jr., Johnny V, Todd Pletcher, Angel Cordero Jr., Dwayne Lucas, Chad Brown, Mark Patterson, Jerry Brown, Craig Milkowski, Andy Byer, Andy Sterling, Steve Bick, Bob Baffert, Mick Peterson, Bob Pandolfo, Roman Chapa, and Steve Christ. That was the list we got.
That is the most obscure list that I think I've ever heard my entire life. I don't necessarily need to be on that list, to be quite frank, but let me think.
I said Abe Butler.
I mean, at the end of the day, did somebody say Andy Serling?
Yes.
Come on,
Yes,
man.
they did.
Come on.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Andy Byer, do you think he really wants to do it? No. I mean, for me, you want to get someone that not only has the passion, which I'm sure they all have a passion for the game, but they understand all facets of the sport in the industry. You know, they've been there. I think for me personally, Johnny V would be my vote. Johnny Velasquez.
Yeah.
I think
Would that be a weird
he's most-
combo?
A retired Johnny V, though.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously. Come on.
Yeah. Retired Johnny V.
What about Angel
Retired
Cordero? Then?
Top-notch wrestler with big muscle.
They should just get Vince
So
McMahon.
pretty.
My vote's Vince.
So pretty.
Oh boy.
Well, yes, but I did say you, Sarge, and I made a case for that.
We've been preaching Sarge for commish for over a year now.
And I
on
see
our
it in
show.
deep, and I said Vic would be a terrible commissioner. See, I did go. I understand what he's probably saying with some people's point of views there, but it's just because he was a steward and he loves the game, and he was a steward. I feel like you need a guy.
He's a steward. He's an agent. He's an
He's an
announcer.
agent, too.
I think the importance of when you're in a commissioner role, the balance of, much like if you were to be a steward, I mean, you have to kind of come in with some objectivity, a little subjectivity, but at the same time, you have to have a clear perspective and be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes. I mean, you know, in light of the world where it stands today with this Bob Baffert situation, it's downright scary because, you know, I think the masses, like you talk in the trenches, everybody feels there's a good mass majority that feel that he should serve out his time. But I, in particular, believe in the due process system. And look, let me hear your side of the story. Let me hear you out. Of course, you have to give him that opportunity. And, he did get the injunction at NYRA. But look, if the New York Racing Association, if they deem that they do not want to give him stalls, that's in their hands. I mean, it's much like when I fill out a stall application as a trainer. Hey, if I need 20 and the race secretary only gives me 10, then that's what it is. And it may not do with the fact that I just don't have qualified horses. The race secretary may not like me. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, as a commissioner, and you have the one body, this is where the Stronachs, the CDIs, the NYRAs, they all need to be on the same page, universal across the board. So, and I'm not really in a position right now to tell you, hey, this is what they should do with your Hall of Fame trainer, Bob Baffert. But regarding the Kentucky Derby, let's hear the case. Let's hear their side of the story. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if the horse came up with that positive and it will declare the horse a disqualifier from the Kentucky Derby, then so be it. Now, what Churchill decides to do from that point, and NYRA and these other tracks, it's on them.
Well, and you've told us a story about how you've been, accused, I guess, of stuff that you had to go through process.
You went through a due process.
Well, I had. I mean, again,
so,
in a nutshell, I was prescribed. My horses were prescribed a medication called carisoprodol. It metabolized to a drug called mepibramate, and that particular drug, the metabolite, was a tranquilizer. Well, I wasn't told that at the time. It was suggested to me that we give, a 72-hour threshold. And if you're wondering what carisoprodol is, all it is a muscle relaxant. Horses are, you're talking about 1,000-pound animals and athletes that hit it, X number of 1,000 pounds per square inch. Yes, they need to have a little bit of help from time to time. And it's nothing that's detrimental. And unfortunately, this particular drug metabolized into that. And I had to go into the court here in Los Angeles and essentially defend myself. But, that's the difficulties of this industry, is that you have a trainer responsibility rule. And there are others, and including the veterinarians, that they're the ones who prescribe these drugs. And in many cases, with an injectable drug, trainers aren't allowed to give an injectable. Oral antibiotics and that sort of thing, trainers can. So where is the accountability? Where is the onus placed? Why is there not a veterinarian accountability in line with trainer responsibility? That's all I'm getting at. So for the masses out there to just go after Baffert and say, he did. I will say this, when it comes to public speaking, Bob Baffert, when it came to the incident himself, I think he regrets having said anything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But all of that being said, let's just hope that going forward, that lessons will be learned. Time will reveal all. I mean, I guess at the end of the day.
I just learned firsthand, and you obviously in the same situation, the same story of a veterinarian giving the horse the wrong drug. Like we just went through that with our guy.
It happened.
Yeah. I used to think like there's no way that ever happens when they used to say that.
It does.
Now I know. It definitely happens.
Yep.
Yeah. It definitely happens. So, it's interesting. But I did want to say, Sarge, first of all, you're going to come in our survivor pool. We have the Del Mar one and the Saratoga one.
So how does that work? Tell me how the survivor pool works.
All right. Yeah. I'll tell everybody out there if they're listening too. So survivor pool is real easy. Basically, what we do is we're doing the same thing we did last year. We're doing the first 4 weeks. You pick a horse on the card on Saturday. It has to be over a 6-horse field. Even Sun scratches out, so you might want to put an alternate in because you can't control that. And you can't pick the morning line favorite this year. It's got to come in first, second, or third. It's got to be a win, play, show bet on one horse, that card. Then week 5 through 7, if you're still alive, or 5 and 6. We're doing first and second.
All right, so it's only one. It's only one horse.
One horse
each day.
Hayward's Beach. Yes, Razor. Sarge. No. Sarge wouldn't know you won last year because I think I was the first guy out and Sarge was second last year. So.
Oh, did I play it last year?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't remember probably because you were around as long as I was. I think.
Come on, man. I didn't play it last year.
No, I didn't either. You're right. Razor did win last year. Congratulations.
All right, so Razor Sharp, he still owes me a few hats. He can't seem to find the proper hat size. I tend to wear a bigger lid because I don't like it smack on my head. And he says that New Era doesn't make a 7, 7/8 or an 8, and that's totally
Messed
wrong.
up, Razor. Get Sarge a hat.
Come
What's up?
on
Yeah.
now.
He's killing daylight is what he's doing. Killing daylight.
It's because he's off.
And listen, the only way that I can get a complimentary selection from Razor is I give him a shout out on TVG. That's how that works. But I'm going to tell Razor, like the rest of these guys, these prognosticators out there, listen, if you can start hitting at 75% with your sports wagers, then I'll pay for your product. But until then, you better start getting it complimentary and you better step up.
There you go, Razor. Coming in
You heard
hot
me.
there.
I know where
Razor's these days, Razor's more like a butter knife. So you better come with it. Butter knife picks. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
All right, I'm in on Survivor. I need Sarah to work with me because, again, she's like my personal assistant.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, can you give me the daily reminders and say, hey, you got to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing Sarge.
I'm on it.
Delmar.
Yeah, we're doing both tracks. You can play both, or you can play one or the other. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted.
I think
Whenever
AJ.
official.
I think we got to get AJ some super beta prostate because he keeps getting up and going.
Yeah,
right.
he's
Is he okay? Is he called Bill Kaiser?
I don't know.
What's going on?
My computer was unplugged. I had to plug it back in.
All right.
All right.
We already got
Well-
AJ's pick for tomorrow, actually, for the Survivor pool,
Yeah,
and it's Hayward
Hayward
Beach.
Beach.
So we're good.
I missed it. Did anybody mention Jason Service as the commissioner?
No one put that.
No one brought him up.
We don't mention those names here.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
It's
So
triple
everybody-
cons. We mentioned whatever.
Right. All right. So that was our picks. Sarge gave us a lot of information, not only with his picks, but in regards to the industry itself. So
Yeah.
thanks, Sarge. As always, it's a huge pleasure to have you on our show. We could pick your brain for hours, but we'll let you get back to your day job.
There's not much left in my brain, but that and 2 cents will get you a cup of coffee. I want to thank you guys always for having me on as I come back in clearer vision. My camera is adjusted. A
Here
salute.
we go. We can see you now. All right, Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge.
As always, and to everybody in the chat watching this, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button down below. Check us out on all social media. Let us know who you're playing this weekend at Del Mar or Saratoga. And follow us on Degen Nation.
Or the Haskell.
The Haskell's happening
Come
too,
on.
by the way.
Haskell.
I
And
know.
Mo-
That's the best thing you said all day, AJ.
I mean, come on, man.
All right.
All right.
Well, from the
Love you guys.
Chippewas at
DPN
Degen
Nation.
Nation,
Shout out goes out to you, and let's have a winning week, and I'll see you at Del Mar. God
Oh,
bless.
see you
see you
around
at
there.
Del Mar.
Okay.